The third one is that we are all born with a fatal disease, and that is that we take life for granted. Every one of us comes to a moment that we think we deserve what we have. We're entitled to everything that we have until it's too late. And we have a loss in the community as a reminder, my brothers and sisters, that life is not, as I said, something that we're entitled to. It's a blessing from Allah. And we have to make sure that life of gratitude will help us not to take this life for granted, not take blessings of Allah for granted.
So I can share it.
And the fourth and the last one, in order to prepare for death, is to
2022.
recognize the value and importance of time. These are the regrets we will have. And inshallah, this is a blessing from Allah that all of us have at this time. It's a time that we are losing. إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ. All of us will be constant loss. Men, women, young, old. إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. The only one that is truly not losing is the one who filled the time that they're losing with good deeds and righteous deeds and Iman. Iman is the purpose, we have a proper goal. Amal al-Salih is the active part. It's not that you're just someone who's idle and passive. Once again, I pray for the soul of Marhum Siavash. I pray for all his family members. May Allah grant himself and patience and the honor of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam and the sadness that he experienced with the loss of his sons, Ali al-Akbar and Ali al-Asghar. May Allah bless their hearts with patience, sabr. And also pray for all the friends who are here with us today, those who are classmates, those who are in the same school as Marhum Siavash. Thank you for coming. My condolences to you as well. May Allah give you sabr and patience as well. And I pray for all of you to have a blessed life, a life filled with mercy, blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and a life that whenever it is our turn to leave it, we have inshallah the least amount of regrets, the least amount of sorrow, and being inshallah ready to face Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and facing the life of the hereafter and what's inshallah waiting for us ahead. For the Surah of Al-Marhumin, for the Surah of Marhum Siavash, this is our Surah Fatiha with the Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. And also pray for all the friends who are here with us today.
سلام. بله فهم. هذا حرف کنم.
I'm going to give the time to his close friends. I'm just going to call them names so they can come one after another without me being with them. I mean before them. Mustafa Salman, Hafiz Darwish, Ali, Etehadieh, Mohsen, Uwaid, Zaid, Naima, and Dr. Huda. Please Mustafa come on up. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Assalamu alaikum wa barakatuh. I took a while thinking about what I wanted to say to all of you guys today. And I think the most honest and the most straightforward thing I could say is a realization I had when we buried Siavash. The realization that I had was that hole that we're going to be buried in, the grave that we're going to be sitting in, that's going to be our abode for most of our time here, longer than the life that we lived. The white cloth that we wear, that's our garment for eternity until the day of judgment. And the question comes to be is, what are we doing wasting our time not preparing for the abode that's going to be for majority of our time? Rasulullah ﷺ says in a hadith that this world is like a bridge. So don't build a home on the bridge. On this bridge we call life. The reason for that is, like you all know, this isn't going to be our final destination. We spend all of our time working, going to school, chasing this dunya. And albeit, it's good, especially if the niyyah is salihah, especially if the niyyah is, we're doing this for ibadah, for sabilillah. Walakin, are we sacrificing the other portion of our deen? Praying, siyam, dhikr, following the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? It was a profound moment for me, because I sat there and I thought, I remembered words from a sheikh long ago at City of Knowledge. And the words of this sheikh really changed the pivot of my life, especially in terms of deen, where I started taking Islam significantly more seriously. And I remember this day to the T, especially the details before it. The words of the sheikh that day was, are you really going to sacrifice 80 years of your life, 80 years of happiness, let's say you live 80 years, all happiness, no hardship, but are we going to sacrifice an eternity an eternity of happiness, of bliss that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promises all of us. SubhanAllah. The most important thing I can say, especially about Sia, and I mentioned this before in the speech in Ahlul Bayt, was he knew how to choose his friends. And this is for sure, albeit to props to his parents for, giving him the right tools on how to choose. The reason why this is so significant is because like how Rasulullah ﷺ says, you know an individual based around the friends that he surrounds with. The scent eventually rubs off on him. And subhanAllah, ya ikhwan, and my sisters too, the friends that you have are going to be the very same people in the front line of your janazah prayer. So be sure that they are people of Islam. Be sure that they're the people of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And inshallah, our brother Siavash is in Jannat al-Firdaus al-A'la. Sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I sincerely thank everyone for showing up today in support of Siavash and his family and his friends. And I know that Siavash has touched every person in this room's heart at one point or another, and I'm sure his family is great for you all coming. I want to start by asking everyone to recite Al-Fatiha for our brother Sia, followed by a loud salawat. This week has been the most devastating and surreal week of my life. I never have imagined that at my young age would I be standing here at the memorial of my brother Siavash. Death was always a stranger to me. At our young age, we want to believe that we're invincible. We want to believe that we're going to live an endless life. We want to experience as much as we can, and we want to be down for everything that we can. And nobody embodied this more than Siavash. As a matter of fact, he is known to our friend group as the guy who was always down. It became so much to the point that we never had to ask Siavash to come out with us. He would just show up. He was always down. He always wanted to hang out with his friends and his loved ones. He was always there, smiling with his most beautiful smile, laughing with his most contagious laughter, putting us on the most amazing movies, talking to us about the most crazy conspiracy theories that you'll have ever heard, making your head spin. He was a one-of-a-kind presence, truly, and he never angered anybody, never bothered anyone. He was just there with that Siavash energy that will be missed every day for the rest of my life. If there's one thing that I've learned this week, it is that death is no stranger. It is coming for each and every one of us, whether it's today, whether it's tomorrow, whether it's right now while I'm speaking. From his death, we should learn to give our love and our time to our friends, our family, and even complete strangers. We cannot be stingy with our time. We have to be more generous with our money, more generous with our volunteering, helping people, loving people, even if you don't know them. Offer your love to them, offer your support to them. Learn to live life to the fullest and want to experience everything like Siavash. So as we're all here today, I want to ask everyone to make a promise, including myself. A promise to Siavash, a promise to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and a promise to ourselves that we will love more generously. We will live life more fully. And we will worship more fiercely. Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant mercy and ease on Siavash's soul and grant him the highest level in Jannah. Also to grant his loving family and friends the patience to endure this hard time. Lastly, once again, I ask for all of you to read Surah Al-Fatiha for his soul after a loud salawat.
Assalamu alaikum. I first want to send my condolences to the family. I know this has been a very hard time for all of us. And just share a few words. I don't want to take too much of your time today. But so I met Siavash through Ahl al-Bayt. I didn't come to school with him, unfortunately. It was around 4 years ago or so. And in that short time, I got to know him very well through, playing soccer mostly. That was like our biggest activity that we did together. And, he taught me so many things in that realm, along with just things in life. He was like an older brother, and I never had one of those, So, alhamdulillah, like Mustafa was saying, he really knew how to pick his friends. And I can attest to that because they're my friends too, and I've always been the youngest in the group. So they've all been like my big brothers in that sense, and Siavash was one of them. So, I definitely lost an older brother. Over the years, we all got very close, and even though I was a little new to the group, they welcomed me, even though I didn't go to school with them or anything like that. And Siavash was always the most welcoming. SubhanAllah, it's like, we all talk about how contagious his smile and his laugh was, but there's really no describing it after the fact. It's just, he was always the most positive, the most everything. Like, you never saw him. I think Shahrukh mentioned in a speech at Ahl al-Bayt how we would have like these, I guess, guys, we dog on each other and we roast each other, right? And he would never be a part of that. It's like he just had so much love for everyone and so much compassion, and there's no words to describe really. When I was trying to figure out what I wanted to say that hasn't already been said, first thing that came to mind was that I wasn't so qualified to speak on Siavash. I loved him so much like a brother, and I felt that I didn't have any words to express. But as I picked my brains a little bit more and pondered, I guess the thing that came to me was that, what lesson do I take from this, Anytime there's a big event that happens in my life, I try to think about what lesson I can take from it and move forward. So I think the lesson that I took from this was to hold your loved ones. Like, we leave the house and we say, bye mama, bye baba, and we think we're going to see them that night, and we don't know if we're going to see them that night. Truthfully, you don't know. And as we can see here, it was a shock to all of us, and it could just as easily be any one of us. So at the end of the day, I just want to say, hold your loved ones close. Call that person that you've been meaning to call. Text them. Let them know you've been thinking about them. And I love you, Siavash, and I'll see you soon, inshallah. Salawat.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I wanted to appreciate everybody who came out to show their respects and condolences to Siavash and his family, and just to recite a quick Surah Al-Fatiha for him. So, with speeches like this, especially in an event like this, there's never really a proper way to start, but I would want to start by saying, Si was a man of respect and honesty. He was a man of respect and honesty and love and support. He was a person you can always depend on to be there for you no matter the circumstances or the time. And not a thing was ever not as genuine from him like anybody else was. When he was talking to you, it wasn't just a regular conversation. He would look you in the eyes and genuinely believe everything you say and talk to you from like his soul and his heart. There's been so many times where it would be whether it was me dealing with a personal issue or things going on with life or basketball, and C was always going to be the person that would be there to talk to me and have a genuine conversation with me about futures and the success we will have together and living our dreams out, as he would want to achieve everything in this life with full belief. He wasn't just a person who I would call a friend, but someone who I would call my brother. The person at 2 a.m. who I can text my guy, oh, you want to go get food? And then down automatically. And the next thing, we find ourselves out in an amazing Persian place eating food, because C knows all the Persian spots. And then we would be talking about stocks, crypto, all the businesses that he was going to make happen, the belief he had in me about hoop dreams, and then just random conspiracy theories till like 4 a.m., the most random things. And I continuously learn from him, whether it be about how 350Zs were the best cars in the world and how Tesla suck, and the understanding to be the bigger person and a better person. So Siavash, whenever it came to certain situations or things when something wouldn't go right or something would do something towards him, he would always be the bigger person and always remain calm no matter what in any situation. And Sia also, no matter what happened at the end of the day, not only would he be there for you, but the times he was there for you, it wasn't a type of thing where you would just wave him off, or like when you were talking about something, you didn't feel somebody's presence. He was always there in those types of ways, and his legacy will always continue to live on with me and all of his friends and anybody within the circle. And the lessons he taught to me personally, I believe I have a lot of problems with my own self, but see, when he was talking to me, especially about certain things, it was always about being calm, no matter what happens during any situation, because he would be able to have the cooler head and be calm during any situation. And something I really took about this whole experience and everything that happened is to never take anything for granted, as he never knew he would live his next day, as he never knew anything will happen. So, yeah, and Sia would generally want to be with all of us, and I know that he will never be forgotten by all of us. Please try to quick Surah Al-Fatiha.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I just want to start off by saying, it's tough, being here at my age, 21 years old. I never thought I'd have to, give a talk like this, but it's just life, It's the one thing guaranteed to each and every one of us. SubhanAllah, it's death. And the sooner you come to terms with that, the sooner you can realize that our close friends and family, they're a gift from Allah. Every moment you spend, with your family and in good terms and having a good time, it's a gift that unfortunately everyone just doesn't realize until after it's gone, The thing about Siavash, he just, as you've seen by every other person who stood here, he has such an impact on each and every one of us. When a community loses someone like this, it's very tough. You never recover, I myself was so inspired by him in so many ways. During the pandemic, I saw him more than I saw my own family sometimes. We'd hang out every day, doing anything, just getting something to eat, playing soccer, playing basketball, anything. And his energy was always unmatched. He was always teaching me about things, about business, about, as other brothers said, about conspiracy theories, and just he opened our minds to things that we never would have thought, He always would ask the most interesting questions about Islam, about religion. He had this passion for life, He wanted to go out there and conquer it all. He wanted to do real estate, engineering, it doesn't matter. Any hill that was there in front of him, he wanted to tackle it. When I first came to City of Knowledge, I believe he might have came the same year I did or the year before, but when I first saw him, I thought, oh, that's a pretty good looking brother, mashallah, And people would say we look like brothers, and I didn't mind those comparisons because he was a good-looking guy, but I looked up to him, in that sense. He was like my older brother, just, even though he was a year older than me. The wisdom he had, the wisdom he possessed was just so much more than than a lot of guys our age, you know. And of course, you know, these comparisons cannot be complete unless I played soccer like him. And I hated soccer before I met Siavash, to be honest. I didn't enjoy it at all. I didn't have the stamina, nothing. And he taught me everything I know about soccer. He made me fall in love with the sport. I'm sure many of you know how talented he was, how gifted he was at the sport. You know, he saw it as poetry. And we would call him the Persian Messi. And the only problem with this was that he was a Messi fan, I was a Ronaldo fan. He supported Barcelona, I supported Real Madrid. So the only time we clashed was during the El Clasico matches. Other than that, we never had any moments where we argued. He never fought with anyone. He was always smiling, always happy. You know, the only image I have in my head is just him smiling, you know, just laughing, just enjoying life, you know. It's just, I have so much to say about him. When you lose someone you consider a brother, it's no amount of words can do justice, you know. All I ask for each and every one of you, just never take loved ones for granted, please. You don't want to have regret when they're gone. You don't want to wish you did something for them when you couldn't. Do it now. Make amends if you need to. Life is one shot. It's all you got, you know. And Sia, please keep scoring goals for us in heaven. Thank you all so much. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
I'd like to thank all the friends who spoke and the ones who did not get a chance to speak. It's a downtime right now. I'm just going to take 30 seconds from you because you all heard how shocking it was for everyone, including me. But I remember the statement from Imam Ali is just like a formula, like an equation to summon everything that we spoke about to get into a good conclusion here, which it says, اعمل لدنياك كأنك تعيش أبدا واعمل لآخرتك كأنك تموت غدا. And if we can take this formula and I'll translate, I think we can get a very good life here, which we're supposed to. We try our best, and definitely we're going to have, inshallah, good akhirah. Where he said, Imam alayhi salam says, work for your life as you're going to be here forever. And work for your akhirah as you're going to die tomorrow. Thank you very much, my dear brothers and sisters. It's a prayer time, you know, and we all learn that we have to do our prayers right on time. And I'm pretty sure Siavash will be more than happy and would have been happy to see us. We do our prayers on time, since he entered the actuality, the world of actuality. At the end, I would like to ask all of you to please recite the Fatiha and preceded by Allah's salawat.